Hello and welcome to Arsenal Above All. How are you all feeling? It's been a couple of days after a pretty rough one. I'm not talking about my birthday celebrations yesterday. Even though I did a lot, I did try to do as much as I could to forget about that performance at lunchtime. But hope you're all well. Thanks for everyone joining us again, and I really appreciate it. I'm joined by two special individuals here. They call me Stepney, Stephen Osakwe. How you doing, Steve?
I've had time to settle down, but happy birthday, Mike. Should we sing? Let's sing it. Let's sing it.
No, you don't need to do that.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Everyone's switching off now. Happy birthday, dear Michael. Happy 50th to you. Hey!
Okay, thanks.
Finally got him back, Stephen. Finally.
Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for watching. Oh, you guys, man. What are you trying to do to me?
That's brilliant. I really thought you'd ended it. I thought that was it. We'll never see Stephen and Neil back on the show ever again.
Oh gosh, that's when that goal went in injury time. That's what I felt like doing with everything. But no, thanks, Steve. Thanks for that. Appreciate that. Thanks, Neil. And of course, the most dangerous Arsenal fan alive, the Arsenal Jason Bourne, Neil Shah. How you doing, mate?
I'm actually feeling a lot better after singing you happy birthday. So all is well in the world. Thanks for having me on, and lovely to see you as well, Stephen. Great to see you, buddy.
No, great stuff. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Thanks for everybody who's joining us tonight. Thanks to everyone in the chat. You've got Nick, he's here. Thank you, Nick, for the support as always. Obviously, Neil's dropped something in the chat as well. Thank you, Neil. Appreciate that. Brenny's there as well, who was on the last show. How you doing, Brenny? Evening panel in the chat. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you very much. Brian is in the chat as well. Even Gents makes a change. Our defeat not being in front of attention. Thanks to Mo Salah. Yeah. Thanks for that. How you doing, Den? He's in the chat as well. Evening, guys. And obviously, thank you for the birthday celebration. I'm glad. I wonder if they were singing along as well when that was going on. I don't know. But thank you very much. Happy birthday. Yeah, I think you might have some more work to do in January, Brian. Thanks for that. Brady, Neil, and Steve, big up as well. And Steve checking in as well. Yeah, guys, let's get into it then. Arsenal's second defeat of the season. Painful one. Injury time, a goal by a previous target of ours, Emi Buendia. Which kind of twisted the knife a little bit further. Obviously, coming at the hands of Unai Emery and all that narrative and how everybody talks about him when he faces us. So yeah, we fall to the second defeat of the season. In what's been a really good season for us so far. Before we go into that, I'll imagine we have made a lot of people happy this weekend. I think Match of the Day probably had his highest ratings for a good while because obviously we'd lost as well, and obviously we know all the haters like to pile in. But what's your feeling, Steve? After that, a couple of days after it, what's the vibes like for you?
Okay, so immediately afterwards, I was gutted. I'm not going to lie. It did. The first thing that popped into my head is this season how many late goals there have been in not just our games, in all games. There's always seems to be a late goal, so you can't ever switch off. It's that important. So yeah, I was quite gutted. It's them last minute ones. They do hurt. Like, you know what I mean? They sort of stick in your mind for a little while. So the season's over. Clip it now. The season's over. Man City are going to run away with it. Liverpool are going to come back and finish second. Chelsea are going to be world champions of the world in their own world again. The Totspur?
Totspur, yeah. Totspur. What's that?
I mean, look, I've had a couple of days to think about it, and we're still top of the league, isn't it? We're all right. We're not going to win every game. It's. I think changing them because we've had so many years of, and I don't mean the past few years, but I mean our banter years. The years when everybody was laughing at us and stuff like that. We had so many years of just negativity from all those other content creators that just want to spew out negative things for clickbait, rage bait, whatever they want to do. I'm more of the mindset, especially this season. It's just part of football. And as I said, I think one of our earlier pods when we towards the beginning of the season, it's how these players react. After situations like this, I think we will react well. I've got every confidence in the team reacting well and bouncing back well. There's still no easy games in the league. We got Bruges next in the Champions League. We got Wolves next in the league, and people will go, "Oh, Wolves is an easy game," and you go, "They're fighting for points. They're literally fighting for the Premiership survival. They are going to be a tough opponent." We then go to Everton after that. And Everton are flying high. They're 6th in the league. So we're going to be facing an informed Everton. There's no easy games. But you can't panic. We're in a good position. We're in a very good position. I've had a couple of days to settle down. I enjoyed your birthday, though I wasn't with you, Mike. I had a couple of drinks for you, or a drink and a Sunday dinner. So, it's all right. That's it. Don't panic. Get with the mindset. It happens. It's just part of football.
Yeah.
Don't panic. You be upset, get it out your system, we move on. Just get it out. It's gone. The game's done. We've lost. We move on. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I hear that. Thanks for that. Neil, how are you feeling? I mean, obviously we messaged in on WhatsApp and the group chats and everything. How are you feeling? A couple of days after reflection on that, and just how we go on from here. But obviously, what's your gut feeling at the moment?
I'm kind of aligned with what Stephen has just said there. I think, however, I'll just take it one step further. I think I just want to get the next match under our belt and with a win, and I think that will be the kind of remedy, I suppose. If we can field the two we kind of want to see, or the best of what we got with all the injuries midweek, get a result, and then we're probably more or less guaranteed getting finishing in the top 8. Then that will be done and dusted. And then we can focus on Wolves. I agree with Stephen. It's not an easy game. There is no such thing as an easy game at our level. There isn't. Yeah. Anyone can beat anyone. It's been proven so many times. It is gut wrenching to lose a goal that late. That was literally the last kick of the game. But to be fair, we've scored late winners as well, and it's nice when it's the other way around. So sometimes we've got to balance things out and say, well, okay, we're on the receiving end this time, but we've been there on the other side. So just got to try and take it. It's hard to take it. Believe me, I was very, very upset at the end of the game, Michael. I think we spoke on the WhatsApp. I was actually fuming because I thought that these things can be avoided. Very much like the Sunderland draw, where we took control of that game and then we just let it go. I felt very similar. The same thing here. We got back into the game and we just dropped off again. Why are we doing that? They were on the ropes when we got that equaliser. We should have just followed through, and we should have tried to score another goal. But we kind of dropped the gears, and we sat back a little bit. And I'm thinking, what are we doing? Why have you not learnt your lesson against Sunderland? Why are we doing this again? For me, champions have to go and kill games. Liverpool did it. Man City done it. All the champions before have done it. We used to do it, right? Yeah. Back in our golden era. You have to kill off games. You don't sit back and think, well, okay, I've managed to get a draw in a really difficult situation. Our job's done. Let's sit back and let's play for the point. No, it's the points and the draws that cost us the title last season. Have you not learned anything yet? So for those reasons, I was fuming. But we can't, as fans, we can't do anything about it. We can sit here and cry, scream, shout, become a stupid content creator and win celebrity, get me out of here and all of that stuff. Right? we can do all of that, okay? But we can't control what happens on the pitch. That's up to the players and the manager who picks the players and his game management. And there's certain things that needs you think as a fan, you haven't learned some things. I'm just going to go ahead and just say one thing which really infuriates me. Cashew scored that first goal. A little bit before that, we had a warning from the same player.
Yeah, he did.
Exactly the same situation. Can you not learn from that on pitch? That this guy's can find himself free in this position, let's make sure that we got someone there. No Calafiore, and I know I laughed about him all season, and I love the player. But Eze, what is he doing? What is he doing? Is he ball watching? Does he not know that? Oh, there could be someone behind me. Just stood there like a statue. And I'm not here to sit there and smash people apart, because, like Stephen said, and I'm very positive as well. Stephen, you know that. We are in a fantastic position. We're still in a fantastic position. Don't get me wrong. We're commanding the Champions League. We're commanding the league as well. I know City here closing the gap very, very, slowly but surely. But we get another couple of wins. Hopefully, that will get our hunger back. And yes, we can say that we have been blighted by injuries, because it's a fact. We can say that. We can say all of a sudden we're getting our attack back, and now our defense is just decimated. Something has to be said about that as well. We can't just ignore it. But still, I still believe with the players that we had on that day, things could have been avoided for me.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling very upset, but I have had 2 days, like Stephen said, so I'm in line with what he was saying. But I want that next match to happen now. I want to win that next match, and then I'll feel a lot better.
Yeah, 100%. And 100%. And obviously, we'll go into the lineup. Obviously, the lineup there, it's almost like you mentioned with Eze. I don't think we'll see Eze playing on the left-hand side for a long, long time after that. It's almost like he's used to playing Martinelli there because of the defensive side of it. It's almost like, well, he's missed the trick there. He should have played him. He should have played Martinelli in this game and played Eze on the left in the game at Anfield when he didn't play him, where, sort of thing, because, like you said, he got a bit of a warning beforehand, about a couple of minutes before, when Cash kind of got in, and Rice, again, had to save the day. And disappointing, the fact that he got dragged at half time. I don't think that's gonna. I don't think Eze will feature that way again. On the left hand side. I think if anything, he's gonna have to share that position with Odegaard now, which is something that we'll talk about in a minute. But the guy there, Rice. I mean, if we can spin it forward to Wednesday, if I see this guy in the lineup on Wednesday, I'm gonna lose it. And I don't think I'm going to be the only one that's going to be feeling like that if he starts the game. He simply cannot start that game on Wednesday. Put him on the bench, and he will come on. I'm sure he'll come on, won't he? And he likes to do that with the players that he takes out and puts them in, for a bit of a run out. But I think I just think he cannot play Rice in that game. He has to give him a rest, because you guys are just running on fumes at the moment. I don't understand why he can't see that. Someone like Norgard, the fact that he saw what was happening. He saw that Villa were pushing on the last 10 minutes, and he didn't kind of throw someone in the midfield just to give him a little bit more support. I couldn't work that out, Jen. So just going on to the lineup, was there any concerns for you? I mean, first half I thought Odegaard was pretty poor. He was picking up the ball far too deep for me. He was picking it up alongside Zubimendi again. He wasn't giving Saka any support on that right-hand side. It just wasn't. There was just nobody there. In the second half, fair play to him, he did step it up. It wasn't a man of the match performance. I don't know what Martin Keown was on about on the commentary. He gave him man of the match. I mean, didn't he see what Rodgers was doing for Villa and the way he was running the game and Tielemans and stuff? I mean, it's just crazy. I'm not bashing him, but I think for me, if your captain and your vice captain Saka have to wait for half-time rocket, let's say, and then you turn it on 50 minutes after that because they were involved in the equalising goal, that's not good enough for me. That's not good enough for me for those two to be playing like that, and then having to wait until half-time to get a bit of a rocket, and then you sort of turn it on. That's not enough for me. They've been around the block too many times for people to be giving them a pass and stuff like that. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on with the goal and Odegaard not trying to get involved and not putting his foot in. I don't know what you feel about that, Steve. If that's just people just trying to have something to hit Odegaard with. But talking on the individual performances, I thought Eze was poor. I thought Marino was poor. Odegaard had a poor first half. Gyökeres's cameo in the second half was poor as well. I've been banging the drum for him, but you know, and been saying, look, you know, he needs chances. He needs chances. He got a perfect chance from Rice, and he was on his heels. I don't know. You know, that's not good enough for me. You know, do you know what I mean? So you can say that he's not being played properly. He's not being put into good opportunities, shooting chances, a great creativity. But when an opportunity like that comes along, he's got to be on his toes. He's got to be sharper. But what's your thoughts on just the individual performances, Steve? And obviously, we're not going to talk about Rice because I thought he was outstanding again under the circumstances. But what's your thoughts with the bashing of certain players? Oh, you're on mute.
I'll mute myself. Yeah. I if I'm honest, there's a couple of things that did quite irritate me in terms of the lineup. We've had our best player so far this season. One of our two or three best players this season has been Jurrien Timber. I know he plays centre back for Holland, but he's been our best right back. Ben White can play centre back, and he should have stuck in at centre back for. I think that would have been a better balance in that sort of situation. I don't know. I just think everybody in that first half, nobody really looked good. Nobody looked like they were on it. Nobody looked like they were properly up for it. It just looked a bit casual again. And we seem to start. We're more of a second half team than we are a first half team. I don't know why that is. It's that whole control thing and just trying to take control of the game that Arteta likes. Not knocking it because it's got us results, but sometimes we do just need to start on the front foot and just take it to the teams that we're playing against, especially those that are on form. So, like, you know, we played a team like Villa on form. You need to actually take the game to them to unsettle them. Yes, they're at home, but we're the ones that are going for the title, if you know what I mean. So we should be trying to unsettle them. He's not a left winger. I think we've said it before earlier on in the season. He's not a left winger because he didn't look like a left winger. He plays in that left channel, and that's where we were hoping to see him play more. So that when Gyökeres is playing, because Gyökeres likes to come in from that left-hand channel, he can be fed more. On the right-hand side, I just don't see it working as well for Gyökeres. Saka didn't have a great game in that first half. He didn't, and it's disappointing.
Yeah.
But when everybody's having a poor game, your star looks like they're having an even worse game sometimes, if you know what I mean. I just think we were just not at the level that was required for that sort of game. Tired legs, yes, you've got tired legs, but you've got substitutions that you can make and players that can come in. And like I said, if you get, I know Arteta likes this whole thing about balance. That's why I was quite surprised to see Ben White playing at right back and Timber at centre back. I would have thought it would have been Ben White in that position.
Yeah,
we just looked open, and they had chances in that first half to really put us to bed, to be perfectly fair. We were lucky to keep in it, but I don't know. I think individually, I think you can look at it individually in that first half, but I think collectively is what you've got to look at. It's a team game, and as a team, we were poor. We were poor.
Yeah, I mean, Neil, it's a little bit of what Steve has said in terms of how we looked. We looked leggy, and obviously we've had the injuries. And it's like a combination of everything that over the last couple of weeks, you know, the schedule, the fact that we seem to keep playing teams away from home that are really high up in the table. So, for example, we played Sunderland when they were third. Were they third or fourth? We played Chelsea when they were second. Obviously, then when we eventually played them, they went down a place to third. We played Villa, who were fourth. We're going to play Everton, who are fifth, unbelievably. Do you know what I mean? So we're playing these teams where it's like it's a cup final. I mean, I don't know if you saw the beginning of the game when they came out. I thought it was a cup final, but then again, it is a cup final when everyone plays Arsenal. So literally, you had all the fireworks going off, you had all the pyrotechnics going off. It was crazy. It was like it was almost like the champions had come to town. You know, it was that kind of feel. But everything, all of what Steve said and everything else, all that legginess and leggy players and the injuries, which it needs investigating. You know, what the hell's going on with that? it all boils down to one man, right? In terms of having an overview of all of that, and yet he's putting it on the schedule. He's putting the blame on the schedule where he's had to play these players, but he hasn't because he didn't have to. He could have made the changes. What's your thoughts on that? You know, do you think it's just him deflecting like he usually does? A few weeks ago, he was talking about how great the squad was, but again, he's not trusting it because he's not giving people like Ethan decent minutes. Didn't give him a minute on Saturday. Norgard, he hasn't given him anything as well, which is crazy. What's your thoughts, Neil, on just how the squad's being managed? Again, we keep coming back to this. This is the only thing that's going to stop us actually achieving what we want to achieve, right?
I said there's only two things that can stop us. It's ourselves and complacency. And ourselves, when I mean that, I'm talking about the injuries.
Yeah.
And running players into the ground. And you're absolutely right. I think if he's, I'm going to use the word stupid. If he's stupid enough to start Rice midweek, then I think, you know, it's going to be damning. It's going to be damning because the guy for me, you know, I agree. I think Rodgers and players like of that ilk on Villa's side probably should have won man of the match. But for me, Rice was up there, not Odegaard.
Yeah.
I'm not an Odegaard hater. Please don't think that, guys. It's not that at all. I just think Rice deserved to be man of the match. But I'll just want to send on a couple of positives before I say anything else. I think White, who hasn't played hardly anything, has come in the last two games. And yes, I agree, Stephen. He should have maybe played in the centre. However, the role he did play in his usual position, I thought he was great, and he's been great for the last two games. I think he stood out for me as a good player. Also, Rice, as I said, Hitachi, or however you want to. That's how I call it. In Cafe, but Hitachi, I call him.
Yeah.
I thought, especially in the second half, he looked great. And you've got to remember, these guys have come in to replace what is arguably the best defence in the world at the moment, I would say.
Yeah.
Or at least in Europe. Yeah. It's quite a high bar to reach. They're big shoes to fill. And under pressure against Villa, who are no mugs, they are a form team at the moment. We're going to their manor, and they're having to, you know, to do a job there. So, you know, I want to give them a shout as well. You know, both Hitachi and Ben White, because they're not the usual candidates for that role, and they haven't been this season. So they've done well. And even though we conceded 2 goals, I just want to give Raya a bit of a shout for a change, because he made some outstanding saves. It could have been a lot worse, and the dynamic of this pod would be even more of a dread podcast, I would say, because it could have been 4-5-1, because he saw us, he got us out of jail a couple of times where the defense may not be, you know, in sync with one another, and the ball has fell into a very dangerous position. And who was there? Raya, to save the day. So we could have been well out of that game even before we got the equaliser, to be fair. But then, having said that, on the other side, someone has got to look. We've got a very good technical coach for set pieces and corners, right? It's proven to be. We're right up there in that league. Why haven't we got someone to educate or coach or mentor our attackers on how to shoot? And I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that I'm not being patronising or anything. We have scored some blinding goals from all over the pitch, which I love. You know, I'm not saying that we depend on one player. We got goals coming from all over the place, and some of the goals that we score are outstanding and unbeatable from, you know, stuff that only Arsenal can do. But there are times where it's very frustrating, where you've got someone who we know is more than capable of at least making the goalkeeper work, and all that happens is the ball goes straight to the goalkeeper. It's an easy save. Yeah. I don't understand that. You see, Odegaard has been, I think, how can you say? He's been a culprit of his own standards, if you like, or a victim. I can't get the phrase out. But basically, we know what he's got. We know that he's got a great shot on him. It's not all about power, but he's very good with placement. And there was a situation on Sunday where he took just a moment too long. He could have got the shot out, and he didn't, and the chance was gone.
Yeah.
player on that level, as a captain, for me, you've got to be instinctive. You've got to know that, right, maybe I've got to take this ball, the ball by the horns in this game. It's down to me. Things are not happening for us. Let me be the game changer. I'm the captain. I represent this team. And there are times where he just shoots or he doesn't shoot and he wants to play that extra pass. And you think, just shoot, man. What are you doing? And he proved it. Look at the second half.
Yeah.
He almost scored a great shot with a great shot. And I think Martinez just got a fingertip to it. We want more of that, please.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to see. I'd like to see shots where if you're not going to score, at least make the goalkeeper work for it. Yeah. And I don't see that enough in our team. Even though we're top of the league, we're flying high, and some of you guys might disagree with me. That's fine, but there are times where we get frustrated. If we had won, I probably wouldn't even be saying this.
Yeah.
But it is a fact for me.
It is.
Arteta, and with Arteta, I just last season we were so frustrated, Michael. How many times have we spoken in the chat? Why isn't he playing these players? Why isn't he giving them a chance? They are talented players. Ethan Nwaneri is a damn good player. I'm sorry, he is. But he's just not given the chance. He gets a few minutes here and there. And people say, oh, well, he didn't do anything. Well, what do you expect?
Yeah.
It took Bergkamp months to find his feet. It took Henry months to find his feet. You expect this little teenager to come in and set the world alight. It doesn't work that way. Give him some time. Give him some minutes. There have been plenty of games where he could have gone on and it wouldn't have changed the result and be detrimental to us. But what importantly, what it would have done was given him more match time and more pitch time, and that's the only way that he can get, build up his physicality, build up his what do you call it,
confidence,
sustainability,
his
confidence, and everything else. Because if you're just sitting on the bench with your mates, that ain't going to happen. Thinking, oh, all I'm going to get from football tonight is maybe a shot on FIFA on PlayStation 5. He's got to be out there, and and Nurgard as well. Nurgard's not a bad player. I don't think he's a bad player, but he's had a couple of chances, but maybe hasn't set the world alight. But you can't expect that to happen within a few seconds. Yes, we've got better players out there potentially and on paper, and that's why he's not getting in. But in situations like this, where the team has been run ragged with injuries, you've got to do some shuffling. You've got to think a little bit, maybe outside the box. You've got to give these players a chance because you don't know what could happen. It could be that you might make a find thinking, wow, this guy's amazing in this position. At the moment, the way I see it, if Rice gets injured, we are stuffed.
Oh, yeah.
Who comes in for him? We've got no one to replace him.
Yeah.
So unless you try these other players out, you are not going to know. But you can't try them out. We are too reactionary. I feel that Arteta is too reactionary. We've got to be more, we've got to be preemptive. I think with stuff, we've got to try things out without having to react to them. That's what I'm trying to say. So anyway, that's
no, I totally understand that. I mean, the funny thing is, the likelihood is that both Nurgard and Ethan will play on Wednesday. And probably give him a run out, and then it would be back to normal on Saturday against Wolves. And I just don't think he's giving people enough minutes. Yes, White's come in and done a good job, but there's been many occasions where White should have had a few more minutes, where he could have come in a little bit more, and got some more minutes, so he feels a little bit more engaged. You saw after his performance against Brentford when he got the man of the match, he just. We know Ben White. We know how he is. He's very nonplussed when he's having an interview, but he looked even more not peed off, but just a little bit more disconnected from the actual result, than he normally is. And I think that's because he knows, okay, I've come in, and if Saliba's fit for Villa, I'm not going to play, sort of thing. I just know that. And obviously he wasn't fit, and so he's played again. So he's kind of in his back of his mind saying, well, I know I'm out of here anyway. I wouldn't be surprised if Ethan goes out on loan in January. Now he's just not getting enough minutes, and that kid needs to get minutes. And it's just crazy. It's coming back down to Arteta's squad management and all the lack of it. But yeah, let's go into some of the chats. So there's quite a few in there, but let's bring some about really appreciate the time you've taken to put these in, guys. Brenny's saying we look like we were set up for a draw. Our shape told me that with 15 minutes to go. Yeah, because after Trossard scored, we're thinking, okay, because we had our foot on their necks for that first 15 minutes of that second half. We were all over them. Couldn't live with us. Scored. You're thinking yes, and then we just gave them the whole momentum. Just sat off again. Then saying gutted at the time, but perspective is needed. We are still top. We have a good run of games coming. We have so many players missing. A loss at some point is inevitable. We go again. We can do it. Yeah, absolutely. Fingers crossed. Brian, to be fair, I thought that when we saw the fixtures at the beginning of the season, we may be playing catch up, not top of the league. So defeat and one like this should drive the team to succeed. Yeah, especially when you see the way they reacted when the goal went in. That was you saw a team that put everything on the line, and absolutely devastating to let that in at the last in injury time. Brady said, I don't think we would win because of Arteta's lineup and playing not to lose routine. Yep, absolutely. Thanks for your comment, Rookie. We couldn't beat Villa mainly down to fitness levels. I genuinely believe that Rice looks knackered. Yeah, he does. You just look at him, the guy's just blurry. I don't know how he does it. But in that second half, he was unbelievable. Start that second half, he was unreal. He was the one that won the ball back to start the move off for the equalising goal. So amazing. Is it because we were simply lacking fitness that we didn't kill the game? Yeah, I'm going to ask you guys about that in a minute, about just the fitness and the training and just what you think is going on with that, because just some of the things that Arteta has said in his pressers, but we'll ask you about that in a minute. I seriously believe we need a new left winger with a competent right foot and pace together. Yeah. We've only got really one winger, a genuine winger, haven't we? And that's Noni. Martinelli is a Neil, he's a striker, isn't he? He's a forward. Eze isn't a winger. Saka isn't a winger per se. He's more of an 8 or something. The way he plays, he's always coming inside. He's not your genuine winger. So yeah, it's a good shout though. League control game's better, and most worrying thing is the sudden loss of our dual dominance after Rice was exhausted. Yeah, I think Zubamendi has found it really hard, and he's going to find it really hard with this not having a winter break, which he's used to, and I think it seems to get a little bit on top of him when it's a physical game, especially away from home. I think in the games where we drop these points, he's not played particularly well, and you kind of think, well, you've got a former Brentford captain there who is pretty, he's 6 foot, something, and he could help out, if you just gave him a chance, just stick him in there. Brenny's saying Eze must never play on the left. Arteta has his favourites back in the 10 again. Yeah. That's probably the only way you're going to fit him in. But I think after what happened, I think I called it. Said that's him. He's getting dragged. He's going to get dragged at half time for that, and he did, because that's what Arteta vouches more than anything. I don't like Madueke on the left either, and as he doesn't work on the left because we don't have an overlapping fullback, he should be on the bench. Yeah, I think it's got to be a straight fight between him and Odegaard, like horses for courses. I think someone was saying, I think you could have someone like Odegaard in the home games as such, and then the away games where it's a bit more physical, you put Eze there, where he's a bit more robust. He's stronger than Odegaard, so he can ride challenges, and he likes to have a shot every now and again, and his shots kind of carry some weight rather than roll back to keepers sometimes. Please give Rice a rest and play Norgard if he ain't good. We know what to do in January. Yeah, let's talk about us going after a kid, Bouadi, who plays for Lille. He's really, really good. He's a kid though, but he as a 6, but he's a very, very good player. Going for him in January possibly. Brian saying, particularly Martinelli is also our outball, and away from home it's necessary to have that when you need surgery. Yeah, because I think it's Villa play with a high line, and our front three, weren't the quickest, are they? They weren't going to get in behind. They weren't going to stretch them. So Arteta kind of played into their hands, really. Brady saying Saka needs to go back on the left, and Noni more effective on the right. Yeah. He needs to pull his socks up as well, Noni. I think the goal against Bayern, it's kind of gone to his head a little bit. He didn't play well against Chelsea when he came on. Really disappointed with that. And I thought against Villa, didn't grab the ball by the horns either in that as well. So he needs to fix up. Martin Keown, the player. Wow, Martin Keown, I didn't know. Yeah, Brady, straight to the chest with that, straight between the eyes with that one. Brian Rice definitely should be rested, ready for Wolves, as there is a week off before Everton. Yeah, and then we've got Palace after that, haven't we, in the League Cup? But yeah, let's have a look. What else is there? We'll go back to that in a minute. So just going back on the injuries, guys. Just what I was mentioning, and we'll go back to the chat in a minute. Arteta, whenever they talk to Arteta in the pressers, they always ask him about injuries, because obviously the injuries are such a massive situation at the moment. And his answer often is, we've got another training session before we see if anyone's closer to it. And it's kind of like, well, you've got all these injuries, you've got this schedule that you keep going on. Don't you think it would be just good to maybe tailor down and maybe a couple, have an extra session? Do you think you should just dial it back a little bit? Because I think it's got to be something with the intensity that you put it through. Saliba getting a knock in training is the reason why he's injured. If we don't want obviously players to get injured, you get injured in the match against the opposition, you're going for 50-50 or whatever, we've seen it. You kind of say, okay, that's part and parcel of the game. But when someone's getting injured in training, what the hell is going on? What are you doing? Where is the, not protection, but where is the awareness of, okay, we've got a tough schedule, we've got to try and dial it back a little bit and not put these guys right. It's not like they're not fit, so you need to have another session. It's not like that, they're playing free every 2 or 3 days, so they're not lacking any match fitness. What's your thoughts on that, Steve? What's your opinion on just what you think the problem might be? Obviously, looking from outside, looking in, because all these injuries, man, and all mainly muscular injuries as well. They're not impact injuries. There's only a couple you can take on the palm one hand, which was Odegaard's one when he got hit on the knee against West Ham, and then obviously the couple on the shoulder. But the rest of them all seem to be muscular. Even Yorkeres, we didn't really know what it was, but he's So what's your thoughts on that? And again, I just think this is Achilles' heel for Arteta. He just doesn't seem to learn his lessons from last season and the season before and the season before that.
Yeah, it's exactly that, Mike. He's not learned his lessons. We've talked about this on many, many shows, whether it's a combination of us three or a combination of whoever else. It sort of comes up every season as well. Just use your squad. Like, literally, even if you don't think Norgard is good enough to be starting, you still have to use him. If you give players minutes, they feel a part of the team. When they feel a part of the team, when they're not coming in cold, so they're not coming in and looking like, they look off the pace. They look like they've had 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 20 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 20 minutes there. You've got 5 subs for a reason. You must use them every single game. He started off like that a little bit towards the beginning of the season, but he sort of just tailed off a little bit in recent weeks, where he's just going, I dare not play anybody else, and I must use these certain players. I must always use Rice. I must always use Zubimendi. You don't need to. You've literally got players that can come in. I know that you're thinking, I know that he's probably thinking, well, I want Miles as my left back cover. But you can play him in the centre because that's his more natural position. I know you're thinking, you know what? I need to just always play Rice or Zubimendi. I don't really want to take him off. You can, because that's why you bought Norgard. And even if he's not good enough to start and you go, I can't actually start him again in the Premier League because I don't think he's up to that level of the other two, you rest the other two. Like, you've literally got to use the team that you've got available to you, or we're going to be constantly in that cycle of just going, he's injured. And then because he's not played a player that he should have been playing and given them minutes, they've come in cold and they've had a stinker of a game. So he's had to hold them off at half time or something that damages their confidence. And then everybody's looking around going, what have we got? We don't have much on the bench anymore and blah, blah, blah. Literally just use your squad. That's all we ever ask for as fans. You've got a squad big enough there to use it. If you're not happy with your first teamers, and I've always said this, Mike, even from when we used to work together, use your Hale End. They're literally there. You can take a free hit at them. Every Arsenal fan will tell you, look, I'd rather see a young kid come in. If he makes a mistake, he makes a mistake. He's going to learn from it. Like, do you know what I mean? That's why some of the criticism from some of those other people that do their talking on whatever, were saying stuff like, but he's still a kid. He's still a kid. Ethan is still a kid. Give them minutes. Watch them grow. Watch them flourish. They will take the responsibility because their absolute benchmark is Bukayo Saka. That's their absolute benchmark. And he will talk to those kids. He will talk to them. He will guide them through it. As long as people like Rice will do the same as well. Lots of the senior players will do that as well. But they want to be the next Saka. That's who they want to be. That's why they're always, even from the way they do their interviews, the way they speak like Saka. Because he's the benchmark.
Yeah. You
have to give them minutes. Our injury record these past few seasons has been atrocious. It was never great before. And then, but you've not addressed it. You've not looked at your training methods. You've not looked at anything, the intensity of your training methods. I mean, I remember one time when we had Wenger, when Arsene was our manager, and people were like, "Oh, Arsene doesn't like contact training sessions for risk of injury." When you're playing so many games, in such quick, regular succession, you don't need that sort of physical contact training sessions. You just need to work on fitness and your touches and stuff like that. You don't need the physical side of it because you're going to get that in your league game or your Champions League game or your EFL Cup game or your international game. You're going to get those. You just need players ticking over. And I think he needs to learn that because otherwise we're going to be in this situation in a couple of months where we're going, I can't believe he's played Saka that whole game. I can't believe he's played Rice that whole game. We're 4-0 up. Take the players off.
Yeah, I hear you, man. We've seen that. We've seen it before.
Too many times.
But yeah, let's get back to a couple of chats. Neil, Rookie said, I believe he chose the right lineup. Problem is, players didn't execute well. Yeah, maybe. True. Brian saying Eze is the one who's not afraid to shot the ball from distance, which shows he should be playing more centrally. Yeah, because obviously there's the thing with him and.
Let me just say something. Well, because Neil mentioned it earlier with Odegaard shooting. It always looks like he just pauses before he's about to shoot. Like he has to set himself instead of just hitting it. And it's a very weird action because he always gets blocked. All his shots, like majority of the time, just get blocked because he takes that extra touch to set himself. And you go, oh, he's about to shoot.
Yeah.
And then he gets blocked.
Yeah. So Rookie said something in the chat saying about Odegaard's shooting, which you're just saying as well. Let me just find it. But it was to the extent that he thinks the ankle injury has affected him still. Do you buy that, Neil, or do you think?
I can't comment on whether the ankle injury is having an effect, but I don't remember him ever being any different. To be fair, he's always, even before the ankle injury, I think he could have done a lot more with taking a direct shot on target, but he didn't. He chose not to, and like I said earlier, I don't want to sound like a broken record on this pod, but we know he can do it because he's proven it. He's scored some wonderful goals. And they don't have to be. I know Eze is different because he's more power with very little. It looks like he's got nothing on the ball and it just flies in the net. I get it, and that's where Eze is good. But Odegaard is more about placement, and I like that because when it works, it's a beautiful pass into the net, and it actually looks quite sexy, really. It's not about that at the moment. We just want to keep winning. I don't care how we win. I don't care if Raya comes on and scores a hat-trick every game. I couldn't care less who scores. I just want the win. But yeah, it is pleasing to the eye when you see a nice goal scored, a team goal scored. I just feel that something needs to be worked on with respect to the shooting. And talking about the injuries, that coach, that soft tissue coaches or whatever it is, physio has retired or left the club. I wonder if that's going to have a positive or a negative impact. We'll have to wait and see. But it's absolutely ridiculous. All the years I've been following Arsenal, which is a long time, and we've always seemed to be riddled with this. We've always seemed to be riddled with this key injury nonsense where we could be going for the title and then we lose a key player and it completely derails us as a whole club. It's just ridiculous. And this season, to be fair, we have done so well considering the number of players we have had out. We are literally losing a player a game. What other club goes through that? And we're not talking about a player which may be coming on like the Ethan and Wareys or the Nuggets, which come on maybe once every blue moon for 5 minutes. We're talking about our key players getting injured and potentially could have destabilised us a long time ago. The fact that we're still top and we've only lost 2 games and we haven't lost a game in the Champions League, that is pretty impressive. But it can't go on in this vein. If the next game we lose another key player, then another. Our squad is gone. We haven't got squad depth. People keep going on about, oh yeah, we signed really well. We did sign really well. That's down to Berta. We signed brilliantly in the summer, all of them. But number one, he's got to make use of each and every one of them. That's the first thing. But secondly, you talk about squad depth. We're not going to have any squad left.
Yeah,
like you were saying, Michael, we'll be having to play the 15-year-olds now.
Well, one of them was 16-year-old was on the bench. Marley Samuel was on the bench.
Right. Exactly. What Stephen was saying will come true. Stephen, you'll get your wish. We will be playing the whole hell end will be playing at this rate. Something is not right. I don't know if any other club, whether they're using cheating drugs or asthma inhalers or whatever it is, I don't know. But there is something not right with our club. How do you know of any top club that suffers a key injury every single game? When I start watching a game, all right, the last couple of seasons I've now gone, my mind has changed again, and I really look forward to games now. I can't wait. I can't wait till the game of midweek. I'm so looking forward to it. Whereas before we were like, oh God, how much are we going to lose by today? Oh, it's not like that anymore. It's now like, yes, can't wait. But also at the back of my mind, it's like, who's going to go off injured today? Who's it going to be today? That's not fair. We invest time and money. Some fans I know go to every single home game and every away game. They do all the traveling. Other players, fans, they invest time in watching. They do things like you do, Michael, produce these pods. It's all time investment. It's emotional investment, and it's money. It's everything, right? We do all of that, and yet all we get in from the club is, oh yeah, we'll just do another training session. We want clarification. We want to know how long Sibley was out for. We want to know what's wrong. We want to know about this. We've got every right to know these things, because if it wasn't for the fans, you would not even have a club.
Yep, 100%. Rookie's got the answer. We need some German doctors. We don't want to probably go into that too much, or the German doctor, their history, but yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy how many injury we've had, and what was it? It was all the attackers at the start of the season, and the defense was fine, and then the attackers come back, and then it's all the defenders. It's like someone's playing a game, really. It's unbelievable. Ricky just said, I believe the kids will get the minutes in a couple of games. Obviously, yeah, we've got Bruges, and then we've got Wolves. They're playing at the moment. Are they? What are they doing at the moment? Does anyone know? Are they winning or drawing or something? They've got United, haven't they? I think United are winning. And Max just saying, no, the guys lost all confidence. The lack of goals is eliminating as they can't play on the left. Yeah. I think after that, Saturday, but I think Eze will be tried there or trusted there. Let's say, any going forward from Mikel, because it was pretty bad. So let's just have a quick look at the table. Let's bring that up, because we like to look at that while things are where we are. Let me take this off. Get that up. Obviously City are right behind us now. Only worrying thing there that I saw, let's looking at that, is we've only beaten 2 teams in the top 10 as it stands so far this season, and that's United and Palace. And both those games were only just the 1-0. All the other games we've either lost or drawn, so that doesn't bode well, really. Obviously, mitigating circumstances and all that, but it's not good. Obviously, we haven't played Everton yet. We haven't played Brighton yet. We're playing them obviously fairly soon. But that is a bit of a concern, really. Obviously, we picked up most of the points against the teams lower down, but I just think at the top half of the table, I think part of that has to do with things like, you know, players being injured, affecting the way we played. You know, it's obviously, it goes without saying, when Gabriel and Saliba, you know, the way they are able to progress the ball and play out compared to Mosquera and Hincapié is completely different. But I think it's the way that Arteta is set up in certain games as well, which has cost us that. And I think some of the guys have mentioned it in the chat as well. Just the mentality, the way that we go out. Wolves are losing 4-1. Jesus, they're gonna losing 4-1 to that Man United side. Jeez.
Game of the season coming up against us, I tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll be world champions against us. Don't you worry.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, if we can't beat, we can't beat them. Geez.
You watch; they'll all be at the top of their game against Arsenal because everyone just seems to raise their game against us.
10-10 performances all round.
Yeah. Can I quickly just say one thing about Madueke?
Yeah.
I think he shouldn't be playing on the left, that's for sure. And I think a lot of people agree with that. I think he's, the last couple of games, I think he's been found very wanting. You were really upset with him, Michael. I've never seen you so angry. I thought, God, this guy's going to turn green in a minute. He's getting. I thought, oh my God, please no. You're quite intimidating as it is. We don't need you turning green as well, man. I just think if he keeps him on the right, and I know Saka's there, but this is where we can use the squad. This is it, Arteta. Listen, man, he's going to run Saka to the ground again if you're not careful. Use Madueke on the right. I thought before his injury he was our best forward. I know he didn't score, but I thought he was the most enterprising forward that we had. And I think he just feels he's more comfortable in that right hand side. So come on, play him. You can play Saka on the left, for goodness sake, if you want to play Saka. Yeah. If you're so desperate to play Saka, stick him on the left. But play Madueke on the right, and as all the guys in the chat said, you guys have said, don't use Eze on the left at all. Play him in Odegaard's role because he's done well there, in my opinion. He's suited there. He's more comfortable there. And I know all these players; they're nice guys, and they'll never say anything other than, "Look, we're happy just to play for the club, and we'll play wherever we're asked to play." But no, sometimes you've got to be a little bit more. I selfish and a bit more cutthroat. Say no, boss. This is where I flourish. Yeah, play me to my strengths. This is one thing that Arteta, I feel, still is failing, as well as the other things which you guys have said perfectly well about him. I think he still has a misunderstanding, or he just doesn't want to play some of our players to their strengths. I think we've got a squad more than capable, even with the injuries, of still winning this title, right? Yeah. But he's got to play the players to their strengths and not play them in positions where they're kind of all right, but they're not quite there. And we haven't got time to experiment either. That's the other thing. So I'm still giving Madueke a lot of, I really like him, but I want to see him on the right hand side. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to happen. I'm sure he'll play on the right on Wednesday. I'm sure it'll be pretty much complete rotation. For example, like Calafiori, I'm sure that he'll play because he's not going to be able to play against Wolves. So you probably stick him in. Maybe left centre back, and then you put Miles in, let him have a run at left back as well. I don't know what's happening with Saliba, whether they're going to risk him or keep him for Wolves. So there's options, but you think in Norgard has to play, Eze and Ethan have to play, in the middle. Gyökeres would probably play up front to give obviously Marino, because his legs are gone in that first half as well. And then, like I said, Madueke and probably Martinelli. So a strong team. A good thing, Trossard came off because I think he could only play a certain amount of minutes, and they stuck to that. Fair play to the club, to them. What he didn't pick up, I don't think he picks up another injury. So it was just because of load management. So he might feature again on the bench. So Brugge are an interesting team. I think they've got one or two. They know where the goal is. So it's going to be an interesting game. But we need I think we need one more win out of the three left to make sure that we're in the top 8. So obviously after that we've got Kyriat, and then we've got Inter away the last game after that. We should have more than enough. And then obviously bounce back. We have to put Wolves to the sword. I know someone in the chat said it's going to probably be 2-0. Probably will be like a 2-0 score, but it would be nice to
run a few in, blow the cobwebs off, have a week's rest, and then obviously go to Everton's new stadium and put a marker down there. Because again, that's another place where Arteta has a bit of a issue playing against his old team. You know, I think he's only got the one win up there in all this time. So yeah, interesting. But obviously, always interesting chat with yourselves, guys. Really appreciate it. Thanks to everyone that's joined the chat. It really was popping off. Really, some really good comments coming in there from all of you. Really appreciate it. Thanks for your time. This Monday evening, we'll be back. So we're playing late on Saturday, aren't we? I don't know. We'll see what happens on Saturday night. Might be a rapid one. Might have to drag one of these guys to have a chat and about the game and see what happens. If not, it'll probably be the Sunday, possibly for a chat to see how things are going. We're not going to do one on Wednesday night for the Champions League. I'm going to have a bit of a rest and try and recover.
If Rice plays, you might.
Oh, yeah, maybe, yeah. If Rice plays, yeah, I think I'll go nuclear. I'll press the red button and then yeah, probably go live and stuff. But no, I appreciate that and thanks for the birthday singing and the birthday messages. Really appreciate that. And because it is my birthday, I think I'm going to play my favourite video because I just want to bring a smile to my face. So there we go.
Do you know Tottenham?
What?
Tottenham Hotspur?
Topspur?
No.
What's that?
you never heard of them?
No.
Okay.
It's brilliant, isn't it? It's the laugh at the end. That's the funniest bit.
Topspur? What's that?
Never gets old. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks to everyone in the chat. We'll be back at the weekend with another episode. Thank you, Neil. He's going to disappear off into the shadows and try and evade the closing assets who are trying to get him. And Steve as well. They call me Stepney, as always, on point with his takes as well. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks again.
Thanks all.
Yeah. Thanks everyone. Thanks everyone in the chat. All the best. Just long way to go, but I think we'll all be smiling come May. So all the best and up the Arsenal.